Hey, you guys, I have a very important dream that I want to share with you all, and I'm going to try to make this very quick because I only have 10 minutes. In this dream that I had last night, the Lord allowed me to experience Him in a deeper way. And what I mean by that, I experienced going into a deeper level in God. I felt my spirit going deeper in Him. And there was a part of me that was afraid because I had never experienced this before. But the whole time the Lord was doing this in me, there was such a strong knowing that the Lord was letting it be known that He's about to return. It was very, very clear to me that He was about to return. And I remember I began to speak. I don't know what I was saying, but I began to speak. And as I was speaking, it was almost as if the Lord allowed me to see myself from another dimension. And instead of me hearing myself speak words, now I heard like this loud noise come out of my mouth. And I didn't fully understand what this meant until the Lord took me to Exodus chapter 20. Now, when you look at Exodus chapter 20, remember the story when the children of the Israelites, they were basically giving Moses a hard time because they was trying to make it seem like Moses, was a goody two shoes, basically that he thought he was better than them because he had this relationship with God and he heard from God, and they wanted to know why they couldn't hear from God. So Moses basically prepared the people so that they could hear from the Lord. And this is what it says in Exodus chapter 20, in verse, I believe it was 16. No, Exodus chapter 19, verse 16, it says, "And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled." So they were actually hearing the voice of God, and they began to beg Moses. I think it was either they begged Moses or they begged the Lord to not let them hear his voice again because they couldn't take it. And that's kind of what it sounded like. It was just a loud, unusual noise that came out of my mouth. And I believe that one side of the spiritual realm, the Lord allowed me to hear my words, hear the words that was coming out of my mouth. But then on the other spiritual side of where what I can't even explain it, but it was like I heard this loud noise coming out of my mouth. Like I couldn't even I couldn't even hear words. It was just a loud noise, and I believe that the Lord was allowing me to experience hearing what it would sound like if it was just coming from a standpoint of just hearing the voice of God come forth. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was a very unusual experience. I heard words one minute, and then I knew in my head I was speaking words, but the only thing that came out of my mouth was this loud, extreme sound that came out of my mouth. And the Lord directed me here in Exodus 19, verse 16. Okay, so moving forward, the next part of the dream, I saw a group of people. I instantly knew these were Jewish people. They were being taught the word of God. I heard the word being played as if it was being played to them, and there was such a beautiful instrumental song that was going on in the background. It was very distinct, but I could hear the music playing. But anyway, these people were very captivated by these words that they were being taught from the Word of God. As I was listening, there was so much revelation. It was as if when you look at the Bible, and we know that there are verses in the Old Testament that connect with verses in the New Testament, And but the way it was being outlined to them, it was like the way the word was supposed to have been relayed in an unconfusing way. That's how it was being relayed to them. Like it was in sequence, not like how our Bible is, but the way it was supposed to been outlined for us to completely and clearly understand everything that's in this word. And I just remember just listening to how it was being taught to them, and I was just like, wow, this makes so much sense. And when I woke up, the Lord allowed me to understand that this was a clear sign that he is coming, because he was letting me see that the Jewish people, their eyes are about to be open. They're about to see and understand that he is the Messiah, and they're going to understand this word. The scales from their eyes are about to be removed, and the Lord used that particular sign as a way to bear witness to what he had already told me, that he's about to return. Let me give you this real quick. I'm not going to read the whole context because I only have 10 minutes to do this video and I don't want to rush through it. But the Lord directed me to Romans chapter 11. I would encourage you to read Romans chapter 11, starting at verse 11 through 27. You'll get the gist of the whole context of what I'm saying. But Romans chapter 11, starting at verse 11 through verse 27, is talking about how the Lord used Israel stumbling to provoke them to jealousy. Basically, the Jewish people, they are the natural branches. We were grafted in from the Jewish people, okay? They rejected Christ. But Jesus said those who believe on him, they will be saved. That's the Gentiles. We're the Gentiles. And so it is through the Jewish people that we were given an opportunity to be grafted in, okay? Through their stumbling, through their rejection of Christ, we were given the opportunity to be grafted in. So in verse 27, in verse 25, it says this: "For I do not desire, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. And so all Israel will be saved, as it is written, the deliverer will come out of Zion, and he will turn away ungodliness from Jacob, for this is my covenant with them when I take away their sins." Let me read that one more time. Okay, I got a few more minutes. "For I do not desire, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in." The Lord told me that he was about to come. It was made very clear to me he was coming. His coming was very, 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 very close. Like, he's coming, you guys. And he used the sign of Israel's eyes being open as a witness to how close he's coming. And we just read here, you guys, that Israel's blindness in part happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. The Lord is letting us know that the fullness of the Gentiles has almost reached the number of, because God knows how many people he's waiting on to come in before all this takes shape. I believe the Lord is letting us know that fullness of the Gentiles has almost come to completion. You guys, Jesus is coming. He is coming. He is coming. He is coming. Please be prepared. Be prepared. Get your hearts right. I love you guys.